In the previous class, we started the lesson A Sunny Morning. Now we will continue with the same lesson, that A Sunny Morning is a drama and this is a tragic love story between Donna Laura and Don Gonzalo. After some years, when they reached their old age, now Donna Laura and Don Gonzalo are old people and they are 70 years old. Now they again got the opportunity to meet in the park in Madrid, but they unable to recognize each other, that they were old lovers. Now because of ill nature of Don Gonzalo, Donna Laura started arguing with Don Gonzalo. Now after so many arguments, now Don Gonzalo don't want to talk with Donna Laura. He wanted to read some book, so he asked a book from his servant Junito. Before reading book, he wanted to use some snuff. Snuff means tobacco, and he offered snuff to Donna Laura, and both used snuff. See, we will continue from here now. See, after taking the snuff, they wait the sneezes both anxiously and sneeze alternately 3 times each. See, after using snuff, they started sneezing, and both sneezed alternately, one by one, and both sneezed for 3 times each, like this. After sneezing, after having that snuff, Don Gonzalo, there I feel better. Don Gonzalo says, now I am feeling better. Then Donna Laura, so do I. The snuff has made peace between us. Donna Laura says, yes, I also feeling better now. And this snuff made peace between us. Before we are arguing, quarreling. Now we are feeling very much relaxed now. Like that, she is telling Don Gonzalo, you will excuse me if I read aloud? Donna, madam, if I read the book aloud, can you allow me? Can you excuse me? He is asking. Then Donna Laura, read as loud as you please. You will not disturb me. Donna Laura allowed Don Gonzalo read the book loudly. Done. Don Gonzalo reading the lines of the book. All love is sad, but sad as it is the best thing that we know. And then she said that is from Camfamor. Camfamor is well-known Spanish writer of 19th century. So he says these lines were written by well-known writer Camfamor. Then Donna Laura replied, oh, this was written by Camfamor, she said. Don Gonzalo reading, he continues his reading. The daughters of the mother I once loved kiss me now as they would a graven image. Then again he said, those lines I take it are in humorous way. These lines I feel always very much humorous. Vein means tone. Camfamor wrote these lines in humorous means comic mood, comic tone. Then Donna Laura laughing, I take them so too. And here Donna Laura already read this book, and she says, I was also took those lines as humorous, as comic one. Then Don Gonzalo. There are some beautiful poems in this book. Here, 20 years pass, he returns. And Don Gonzalo says, Camfamor wrote many beautiful poems in this book. One among 20 years passes is very good, he says. Donna Laura, you cannot imagine how it affects me to see you reading with all those glasses. Here, Donna Laura comments on his reading, on Don Gonzalo's reading, That she says, you can't imagine how you look by using all these glasses, spectacles. You look really funny. Like that she is telling Don Gonzalo. Can you read without any glasses, madam? Donna Laura. Certainly, of course, I can read without any glasses, she replied. Then Don Gonzalo. At your age, you are jesting. Jesting means joking. At your age, at the age of 70, no one can read without glasses. You are joking me. You are joking. Donna Laura, pass me the book then. If you want to see how I can read without glasses, then pass me the book. I will show you. Then Donna Laura takes the book, reads aloud. Loudly she started reading the book. 20 years passes, he returns, and each beholding the other exclaims, see, can it be that this is he? Heavens, it is she. Like this, she started reading without glasses, without spectacles. Then Donna Laura returns the book to Don Gonzalo. See, after seeing her that she read the book without any glasses, Don Gonzalo says, indeed, means truly, I envy your beautiful eyesight. I am feeling jealous. Envy means I am feeling jealous of your eyesight. Donna Laura, aside. Aside means with aside, whenever we see this aside in the sentence, we can we should know, we should understand that these words were said herself silently. I know every word by heart. Aside means without this, she said these words for herself that I know every word by heart. It means Donna Laura also unable to read the book without glasses, and already she read the book. She can read the book. She memorized the whole book, and she know every word by heart. So she is able to read the book without spectacles. Don Gonzalo, I am very fond of good verses, very fond. I even composed some in my youth. See, after reading the good verses means lines of those poems, he says, I am very fond. Fond means these, fond means favorite and liking. These good verses were very much fond for me, very much liking one for me. And even I wrote many good verses in my youth age. Donna Laura, good ones? You wrote many good ones, good verses? Don Gonzalo, of all kinds. Many verses I wrote, all kind of verses, lines I wrote. I was great friend of Esperanza, Jorilla, Baker and others. I first met Jorilla in America. See, he started boasting about his writing, that when he was youth, and he used to write some poems and all type of poems he wrote, and he says he was a great friend of Jorilla, that Esperanza, Baker. These Baker, Jorilla and Esperanza, these are well-known writer, Spanish writer, and he says they were his friends, and with them he tries to identify, make understand Donna Laura that he is also a good writer. And he said, I first met Jorilla in America. I met my friend Jorilla in America. Donna Laura. Then, why have you been in America? Why did you go to America? See, Don Gonzalo. Several times. The first time I went, I was only 6 years old. See, so many times, madam. So many times I went to America. First time when I go to America was in my only when I was 6 years old. I go to America. Donna Laura, you must have gone with Columbus in one of his caravels. Caravels means small boat. I think she make fun of his friendship and his whatever he is writing and all. She says, I think you went along with Columbus. Columbus was one of the person who found America through his caravels, through his when he started journey from this boat, small boat and all, he able to found America. So I think when you went along with Columbus to found America, like this, she made comedy, she made fun of his writing. Then Don Gonzalo laughing, not quite as bad as that. I am old. See, don't compare me to Columbus. I am not old, that much old. I am still young. Like that, Don Gonzalo telling. I admit, I agree. Admit means I agree, but I did not know Ferdinand and Isabel. Isabel, Ferdinand are also great writer of this Spanish language, but they were belongs to the old generation. After this Ferdinand and Isabel, next generation, this Espansadra, Jorilla and Baker. So here Don Gonzalo says, I am not belong to the old writers like Ferdinand and Isabel. I belongs to the young generations and young writers like Jorilla Baker. In that sense, he was admitting that he was not too old. They both laugh. I was also a great friend of Camphor. I met him in Valencia. See, from this, Valencia is a name of a town in Spain, and when he took this name, the whole story took a change and took a different direction. The main story started from here. Until here, we just studied about their conversation. Now, we will come to know who they are, who is Don Laura and who is Don Gonzalo. When he says, I was also a great friend of Camphor. I met Camphor in Valencia. That I am a native of that city. And Don Gonzalo said, I am the native of the city Valencia. There I met great writer Camphor. Then Donna Laura. Are you? See, Donna Laura asked that, are you a native of Valencia? Don Gonzalo. I was brought up there and there I spent my early youth. Have you ever visited that city? See, here Donna Laura questioned him, are you from Valencia? Are you a native of Valencia? Then Don Gonzalo says, yes, I was brought up there in Valencia and I spent my early youth age in Valencia. And he asked, whether have you visited that city, whether have you visited that town Valencia? Donna Laura, yes, Senor, yes, sir. Not far from Valencia there was a villa. Villa means bungalow. Here, villa means big building, bungalow. See, not far away from Valencia. See, near to this city Valencia, there was a big bungalow that, if still there, should retain memories of me. If I remember the certain thing properly, I spent my several seasons there in that villa. See, near Valencia town, Valencia city, near there was a big villa. If I remember properly, I spent many seasons there in that big villa. It was many years ago. It was near the sea. That villa was near the sea, hidden away among lemon and orange trees. That big house was in between, that was hidden in between lemon and orange trees. They call it somewhat, that villa was named, they call that villa with the name, let me see, let me remember. What did they call it? That villa name she recalls here, and she says Marisela. The name of villa, the name of big house is Marisela. Don Gonzalo, startled, he was surprised when he heard the name of Marisela. Then he says, Marisela, you stayed in the villa Marisela? Donna Laura. Marisela, is the name familiar to you? Can you hear that name? Then Don Gonzalo, yes, very familiar. I heard that name and that villa, and the name is very familiar, very well known to me. If my memory serves me right, if I remember the things properly, for we forgot as we grow old. See, when we grow old, we forgot many things. If I remember all those things properly, that villa is very familiar to me. There lived in the villa the most beautiful woman I have ever seen. See, he says, in that villa, in that Marisela villa, most beautiful woman was living. I ever saw that much beautiful lady in my life. And I assure you, and I will tell you, I will assure you, I have seen many women, but I never saw that much beautiful woman. Let me see, let me remember, what is her name? What was her name? Laura Laurenti. I think I remember her name, which that beautiful woman who stayed in that Marisela villa, her name is Laura Laurenti. Donna Laura startled when Don Gonzalo took the name Laura Laurenti. See, she was surprised. Don Gonzalo, yes. They look at each other intently, carefully. See, when the Don Gonzalo took the name Laura Laurenti, both together watch their faces properly, intently means carefully. Then Donna Laura, recovering herself. Nothing. You reminded me of my best friend. See, with this sentence, see, we have to study. Here we have to know that here Donna Laura is Laura Laurenti. When Don Gonzalo took her name, she was startled, she was surprised, and both together watched their faces properly. This is the this time they tried to recognize each other, but they recognized. Further, they pretend as if they were not recognized each other. Now they started pretending because they don't want to reveal their identity that they were old lovers. Why? Because in their old days they were very much smart and beautiful people. Now they were looking very much aged and somewhat looking impatient also. So they don't want to share their identity. That here Donna Laura don't want to share her identity that she is the woman Laura Laurenti which Don Gonzalo loved, and Don Gonzalo also don't want to tell her that he is the person who Donna Laura loved in her young age. So when they saw their faces carefully, then only they identified each other. But further, they don't want to reveal their identity. They started pretending here. You reminded me of my best friend. She hid their identity with this sentence. She says, no, nothing. And Donna Laura says, nothing. You reminded me of my best friend. See, in that Marisela villa, my best friend Laura Laurenti was living. You reminded me her name. Don Gonzalo, how strange. Madam, Laura Laurenti is your friend. How strange it is. Donna Laura, it is strange. She was called the Silver Maiden. Yes, it is really strange that I know that woman, and that lady was called as the Silver Maiden in that area. See, in the Valencia, that lady was called as Silver Maiden, the beautiful lady, the beautiful woman who lived in Marisela villa. Then Don Gonzalo, precisely means yes, of course, you are right, madam. Her name is the Silver Maiden. By that name she was known in that locality. That beautiful girl of Maricela Villa was known as Silver Maiden in that town, Valencia, in that locality. I seem to see her as if she were before me now. Still now, I am feeling that beautiful lady was still before me. See, this is my experience when I saw that beautiful lady in my young age. Still now I am feeling that still that beautiful lady was standing before me. Those memories are so fresh for me. That much beautiful lady she is at that window with the red roses. Do you remember that window? And he says that woman, beautiful woman, used to stay in the balcony in the window of her house. That window was totally decorated with beautiful red roses. She was standing in the window. That memory I cannot forget. Do you remember that window of Maricela Villa? She asked about the window of Maricela Villa where she used to stand when Don Gonzalo was coming to meet her. Donna Laura: yes, I remember. It was the window of her room. Yes, I remember that window. That rose decorated window was the window of her room. Don Gonzalo: she spent many hours there. I mean, in my day. That Laura Laurenti used to spend many hours watching in that window. And here he controls himself and he says, I mean, in my day. In my day means in my time. In those time, I saw Laura Laurenti was standing so many hours in that window. Donna Laura sighing, and in my too. Sighing means here need to see too. Somewhat she was feeling very much sorrowful, and she says, in my time too, in my days also, she used to stand in front of that decorated windows for many hours. Here the situation is Donna Laura, when she was young, she was called as Silver Maiden, and she is the beautiful woman of Maricela Villa. In the Valencia city, she was called as the Silver Maiden. When she was fallen in love with Don Gonzalo, for many hours she used to stand before the window of her room. That window was decorated with beautiful red roses. That memory, both together, they are recalling, but they are pretending that they are recalling someone's love story, someone love here. And here Donna Laura hides her own story as her friend's love story. Then further, by seeing Donna Laura is hiding her identity, Don Gonzalo also started hiding his identity. And he says his own cousin was fallen in love with Donna Laura's friend Laura Laurenti. Okay, then we will continue. Don Gonzalo, she was idle. Idle means here she was a idle woman. She was a very much beautiful woman, fair as a lily. Her fair color is like lily flower, jet black hair and black eyes. Her eyes are totally black. Jet black means dark black. Her hairs are dark black and black eyes. She has black eyes with an uncommonly sweet expression. She always maintaining a sweet facial expression, smile on her lips. That uncommon expression, sweet expression, for that she looks very beautiful. She seemed to cast radiance wherever she was. See, brightness. Radiance means brightness. Wherever she goes, because of her beauty, her divine beauty. She was casting brightness, she was spreading brightness. Her figure was beautiful, her body structure also very much beautiful and perfect. What forms of Saverian beauty God models in human clay. She was a dream. See, now Don Gonzalo started praising her beauty, and he says that she was an idol. Really, her beauty was precious, and her color, her complexion is like white lily flower. Her dark hairs and dark eyes, and her pleasant smile. Totally she looks and she spreads radiance, brightness wherever she goes. And lastly he says, she is like a divine beauty. Sovereign means queen's beauty. God's beauty in human clay. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೇವ ಕನ್ಯೆಯ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿರುವಂತಹ ಸುಂದರಿ ಅವಳು. She was a dream. She is like a dream. No one woman is beautiful like that. Laura Laurenti. Then Don Laura. Aside. She was telling herself. See, whenever you find aside in the bracket, it means she was, the person was telling himself. If you but knew that dream was now by your side. If you know but knew that beautiful dream now sitting beside you. See, when he was praising Donna Laura of her youth age, he says, Don Gonzalo says, she is like a dream. And to that Donna Laura replied herself, she says herself that beautiful dream was sitting beside you now, but you are unable to identify. Why? Because that beautiful lady now become a old lady. See, and now she is an old lady, you are unable to find her. You would realize what dreams come true. Aloud, you would realize what dreams come true. When you see that dream was beside you, then you come to know, you will realize that what that dream come to. Now that dream becomes old. Aloud. After that she said aloud, she talks with Don Gonzalo. She was very unfortunate and had a sad love affair. Yes, Senor, yes, sir, you are right. That lady is really beautiful, but she had some unfortunate and sad love affairs. Don Gonzalo. Yes, madam. Her love affair was very sad. They look at each other. When Don Gonzalo said he also know about the sad love story of Laura Laurenti, again they look each other. Donna Laura, did you hear of it? Donna Laura asked Don Gonzalo that did he hear of sad love story of Laura Laurenti? Don Gonzalo says yes. Donna Laura, the ways of province are strange. Aside, Don Gonzalo, see, sir, whatever we think, but the God thinks in different ways. The province of God is strange. Province means God. The ways of God is strange. He give a different opinion for our life. He has a different opinion for human beings' life. Then Don Gonzalo, the gallant lover in the same affair. See, in that love story of Laura Laurenti, the gallant lover, gallant means brave. She has that Laura, beautiful girl of Maricela Villa. She is Laura Laurenti. She had a sad love affair with the gallant lover, with the brave lover. Here, who is gallant lover? Don Gonzalo himself is a gallant lover, but he covered his identity and he says that gallant lover is his cousin. In the same way, Laura Laurenti is the same Donna Laura, but she also hides her identity. She says that Donna Laura is her, Laura Laurenti is her friend. Then, here, Donna Laura, the duel. Duel means the quarrel. Because of that quarrel, Donna Laura and Don Gonzalo were separated. See, this Don Gonzalo was quarreled with the Donna Laura's husband, so-called husband. So, because of that quarrel, they were separated. Don Gonzalo, precisely, exactly that duel. You are right, madam. Because of that duel quarrel, they both were separated. The gallant lover was my cousin. Here Don Gonzalo covers his identity. He says that gallant lover is his cousin, of whom I was very fond. That my cousin was very favorite for me, very loving one for me. Donna Laura, oh yes, a cousin. Yes, she comes to know that Don Gonzalo is her old lover, but he is trying to cover up his identity. So ironically she says, oh yes, he is your cousin. My friend told me in one of her letters the story of that affair. Here Donna Laura already covered her identity, so she also continues with that false story, and she says, my friend means here Laura Laurenti, told me in one of her letter about her sad love story, sad love affair with your cousin, which was truly romantic. Their love story between Laura Laurenti and your cousin is really romantic. She talked about that romantic love story in one of her letter to me. Your cousin, passed by on horseback every morning down the horse path under her window and tossed up to her balcony a bouquet of flowers which she caught. See, here Donna Laura started talking about their own love story. That love story is really truly romantic one. Here she refers and she talks that love story. She talks about that love story as if they are talking the love story of another person, Donna Laura's friend and Don Gonzalo's cousin. And she says, your cousin, that handsome boy, passed by the horseback every morning to the down on the rose path under her window, and tosses up her that bouquet of flowers to the balcony, and which bouquet was caught by Laura Laurenti. So, like this, their love story was really romantic, Donna Laura says. Okay, dear students, we will stop here. Remaining, we will continue with the next lesson. Okay, thank you.